Hello students, so today we'll begin with your biology second session. We have been discussing on the topic of your nervous system, and we have already studied in details about the coordination and then the function of your nervous systems and the nervous systems which are present in animals or in the higher living organisms that are your vertebrates. And we have already been studying about your nervous system is made up of your nerve cells or neurons, right? And what do is that they send messages, that is through the nerve cells in the form of your electric signals, and that electric signal is known as your impulse. So today we are going to study in detail about your neuron. Okay, this neuron, you should remember that they are the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Okay, your neurons, they are the structural and functional unit of your nervous system. Okay, and what do is that they conduct and receive messages. Okay, so your neurons, what do is that they are the structural and functional unit of your nervous system, and what is their function is that they help in conducting and receiving message. Okay, and your neurons, they consist of the following parts. First you have is your cytone, next one you have is your dendrite, the other one you have is your axon. Okay, so what does your cytone do is that this is the main part in your cell body. Okay, so they are the main part in your cell body, and it is also called as cytone. Okay, it is the main part of your neuron. We can also call them as cell body, or we can also call them as cytone. Okay, and they contain nucleus and cytoplasm. Okay, and they are the main part of neuron. Okay, so they contain nucleus and cytoplasm, and they are the main part of your neuron. Okay, then you have dendrites. These dendrites, they arise from your cell body. Okay, they arise from the cell body or from the cytone. Okay, we'll just write from the cytone. They arise from the cytone, and what do is that they have a function. Okay, their function is that they receive messages from other neurons. Okay, so the function of your dendrite is that they arise from your cytone, and what do is that they receive messages from other neurons. Okay, next you have is axon. This axon, what do is that they are very long specialized process that arise from the other side of the cytome. I'll show you the diagram. And they are covered by a, or we can say that they are surrounded by a sheet called the myelin sheet. And what do is that their function is that it carries messages. They carry messages from the cell body of one neuron to the cell body of other neuron. So axon, they carry the messages from the cell body of one neuron to the cell body of the other neurons. So if you go to a textbook, okay, that is page 91, you will see the diagram of your neuron. Okay, so this part, they are known as your cell body or your cytone. Okay, they have your nucleus and they have the cytoplasm. Okay, and then as I have told you that your dendrites or your dendrons, they are the short fibers. They arise from the cell body. So see, they come out from the cell bodies. These are known as your dendrites, and these dendrons. Okay, and then these dendrons, they are further divided into small, have you seen this part, small branch. Okay, they are divided into smaller branches, and these are known as your dendrites. So the bigger one are known as dendrons, and the smaller branch are known as your dendrite. And then you have axon. This is the long specialized process, okay, that comes from the other side of your cytone. So from here, what happened is that it will come merging a long one, okay, that is your axon, and then this axon, they will be covered by a sheet, okay. So this sheet are known as your myelin sheet, and this axon, they end up like they also have a small tiny branch, and I will tell you what does this tiny branch of your axon plays a role. So now let's move on to the next, that is the types of neurons. You have three kinds of neurons, okay. There are three kinds of neurons. First one is your sensory neurons. The second one, it is your motor neurons, and the third one you have is your association neurons, okay. So what does every type of these neurons, they perform a specific function, okay. So let us first go in details about your sensory neurons, okay. So what do they do is that these neurons, they will carry the impulse, or we can say the electric signal, okay. You know that impulse is the electric signal, right? Yes. So the electric signal, you can say, so they carry the impulse, okay, the electric signal from the sense organs. So from they will carry the impulse all the way from the sense organs up to brain or spinal cord, okay. So the function of your neuron, your sensory neurons, by the term sensory, you'll come to know that it deals with your sense organs, right? So whatever impulse or whatever electric signal they receive from the sense organs, they will carry them to the brain or the spinal cord. And then you have your motor nerves. What will they do is that they will carry impulse or the electric signal which has traveled from the sense organs to the brain. So the whatever impulse is there in the brain, they will carry it, okay. They will carry that signal from the brain. They will carry signal from brain and spinal cord to various organs or body parts, okay. So I will explain again once more. So this sensory nerves, so whatever impulse or whatever electric signal is present in the sense organs, they will carry up to the brain or spinal cord. So when the brain or spinal cord, when they receive that electric signal, they will carry it and then send it to the various organ. They will carry it from the brain, okay. They will carry the impulse, this motor nerves from the brain, they will carry the signal, and then they will distribute to the various organs or the body. Sensory neurons, they will carry from the sense organs to the brain or spinal cord, and then your motor neurons, they will carry the signal from the brain and spinal cord to various body or body parts. And then this association neurons, they are located in brain and spinal cord, okay. So these association neurons, they are located in the brain and spinal cord. So what will they do is that they will transmit the impulse, or we can say they will transfer the impulse, okay. They will transmit impulse from one neuron to another neuron, okay. So since these association neurons are located in the brain and spinal cord, they will do what? They will send they will transmit the signal from one neuron to the another, okay. And this transmit, or we can say that where one neuron to another neuron, they will communicate, okay. When transmitting impulse, one neuron will communicate with another neuron, and that process is known as your synapses, okay. So how does your synapses occur? You can see in your book, you can refer to your book, that is page 92. So what will happen is that these association neurons, okay, they are located in the brain and spinal cord. So what will they do is that this process of synapses, here have you seen that this is the axon, okay, that the end part, the terminal end of the axon. So this terminal end of the axon, okay, they will interact with the cell body of the cell body, okay, that is that the terminal end of the axon will connect with the dendrites. So when they connect with the dendrite, what will they do is that they will send electric signal, or they will send the impulse. So this process is known as your synapses. So I hope you're clear. The place where one neuron communicate with another neuron, that means one neuron of your axon communicates with another neuron of your dendrite, okay, and then they transmit signal. This is known as your impulse, okay, again and so on. So after, when this when this axon has passed the signal to this dendrites, what will they do is that they will transfer the signal, will travel through this way, and again from the axon of this cell body, okay, they will transmit the signal to the dendrites of another neuron. So this process keeps on continue, and the process is known as your synapses. So I hope you're clear. Now next we have is the types of nerves. Okay, next one we have is the type of nerves, and even here there are three kinds of nerves. Before we have already studied about the types of neurons, and now we will discuss about the types of nerves. First one you have is your sensory nerves, okay, then second you have is your motor nerves, and the third one you have is your mixed nerve. So what does your sensory nerves do? So these sensory nerves, they will carry the impulse, okay, they will carry impulse from the organs to brain and spinal cord, okay. So these sensory nerves, these nerves, they will carry the impulse, that means the electric signal, from your organs. So whatever signal does your organs give, the sensory nerves, they will carry it, and then they will send it to the brain and your spinal cord, okay. And then you have, so that means whatever information or whatever signal my organs, okay, they wanted to send, so they have to send to the brain and spinal cord. So to send that to the brain and spinal cord, your sensory nerves will be responsible for carrying them, okay. So how to make you understand is that, suppose you want to travel from your school to your home. So what do you do is that you need to travel, and your home is very far away. So what do you need to do is that you have to travel by a bus, right? So if you travel by a bus, the bus will send you the bus will take you from your school and send you back to the home. So without bus, you cannot go back to your home, right? So in the same way, when the organs wants to send a signal, they will carry this sensory nerves, they will carry it, and then they will send it to the brain and the spinal cord, okay. And then to have your motor nerves, what do they do is that they will carry the impulse from the brain and spinal cord to various organs, okay. So your motor nerves, what will they do is that they will carry the impulse, whatever signal that has been present in your brain and spinal cord, they will transfer it to the various organs, okay. So whatever the brain and the spinal cord wants to send and signal, or want to send a message, your motor nerves, they will carry them and send it to your various organs, okay. So they are responsible for whatever your brain wants you to do, or whatever your spinal cord wants you to do, or whatever signal it has to pass, your motor nerves, they will carry and send it to your various organs, okay. And the next one you have is your mixed nerves. So this mixed nerve, they are multi-talented, we can say, okay. As for you to understand, they can perform both motor and sensory functions, Okay, so they can perform both motor and sensory function. That means they can carry information. Okay, since they can perform both your motor and sensory nerves, so what will they do is that they can carry information. They carry information from the sensory organs to the brain. Okay, first of all, since they can perform both motor and sensory functions, so they can carry information from the sensory organs to the brain. That is, they perform the sensory nerves function, right? And at the same time, since they can perform both function, what they will do is that they can send the information back from the brain to the sense organs. So they have performed the motor nerves function. So have you seen that your mixed nerves, they perform both functions. They can perform both functions, either the sensory nerves, that is by carrying the information from the sensory organs to the brain, or either they can also do after after carrying the information, they can also send the information back, that is from the brain to the sense organs, that is done by your motor nerves. So we can say that mixed nerves can perform both the functions. So I hope you're clear, and I want every one of you to go through the part of the topic which I have discussed with you today and read them from your textbook.